What up? This is Robert Horry.
Horry, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Horry for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry from downtown.
Well, my head is spinning. There's so much going on, Big Shot Bob. We're going to call it episode 265. And I'm willing to bet you that 50% of the stuff that we get into on this show is at a date by Wednesday. Because it seems like everything right now is moving 100 miles an hour in the NBA. There's weeks we come to this show where I'm just like, man, we gotta maybe really trudge for some stuff we gotta cover this week. And then there's weeks like this one where I can't keep up. I can't keep up with everything happening right now. But we are here for you. It is episode 265. My name is Rob Jenners. That's B-Dog Brandon Harper, of course, headlined by 7-time NBA champion. A man battling water leaks is Robert Horry. Water leaks at the house of Robert. It's no fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's nothing else to even really, I don't want to say there's nothing else to get into, but the world exploded really probably like was Sunday night, I think, when Shams started reporting that Giannis was going to be moved by the deadline. And there was something in my brain that went, oh, thank God.
A camera.
Oh. What was that? You okay?
Yeah, that was my
Your phone yelling at you?
ringing.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I was like, oh, thank God. It saved us an entire summer of having to go, where's Giannis going to go? Who's going to take him? Could they move enough for him? What's going to be, you know what I mean? Like, I was really in fear that we're going to have to do that all summer long. Giannis goes to the Miami Heat. Monday night, the Bucks agreed to trade two-time MVP along with Bobby Portis to the Miami Heat for Tyler Herro, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparis Junkanukanukanis, whose name I can't pronounce, 3 first-round picks, including the number 13 pick this year, 1 pick swap, and 1 second-rounder. So Milwaukee got a nice little fat haul, which we figured they would, but Bobby Portis comes along in the deal with Giannis to the Miami Heat. For now, it seems like the Miami Heat 26-27 campaign, if everyone were to stay, which I don't think is going to happen, would be Bam, Giannis, Andrew Wiggins, assuming he stays. He's got a $30.2 million player option. Norman Powell, if he re-signs, but that doesn't look likely, and Davion Mitchell.
You don't think Norman Powell's going to re-sign?
It just looks like the way the numbers are working out, that he's probably going to have to take less money in order for him to stay there and make this whole thing work, which, if you're Norman Powell coming off an all-star year, I don't know if you're necessarily in the market to take less money just to play with Giannis. But before we get into the deep down specifics, 10,000-foot view, Rob, what do you think of the move?
You know, it was weird. When I saw what they were getting, I'm like, is it enough? And I think about it. Well, Giannis is, up and down with his health. He is older. He still has issues, of like shooting a jump shot. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And then you get that weight off your shoulders. You can, so I'm happy with the trade. And I'm just shocked that they gave up that 13th pick. That's the one part of that deal that I thought, well, maybe we get Giannis. Let's figure out in the draft what young guy we can, piece with him. So, but I think it's a fair trade overall.
Wait a minute. You're surprised that they gave up the 13th overall pick in this draft to get Giannis?
Yeah.
Why?
I just thought I'm because I just said it, because you probably want that pick. Because you just said it, Rob just said it earlier, the team is kind of like decimated now. And you think about one player being able to carry a team. We saw when that happened with Phoenix and how it didn't really work out for Phoenix, So I'm just thinking that maybe you would try everything possible to keep that young piece with you, just in case. That's all. Just in case piece.
Okay.
We knew, I think for years, because, this has been talked about for years, where Giannis was going to end up and what a possible haul for Giannis the Bucks would get back in return. And so you're going to not only am I not surprised about the haul and the outcome that they got, there is no way in the world, in the midst of everything that the Bucks got back, that the number 13th overall pick was not going to be included. Because when you talk about players and draft compensation, the draft compensation started with the first round pick this year. There's no way in the world you get a player like Giannis, and that 13th overall pick is not going to be one of the first things on the table discussed. Now, you talk about all the players. We knew Miami was going to decimate their team to get Giannis. We talked about that with we talked about that like with Kevin Durant, like him wanting to consistently be traded and not be happy. I'm like, bro, everywhere you go, teams are going to have to give up an ample supply of players and maybe even picks to get you into a point where it's not even worth it. And Miami saw it fit and saw it worth it, regardless of his injury history or whatever, to go ahead and make that move. Look, Miami, I salute you. But unless you just going to run 5 guys out there for 48 minutes,
well,
you got to build a bench, brother, because the only person that's on that bench right now that's of any type of benefit is Bobby Portis.
You got Jovic, too, and you got Larson on that bench. You got a couple of pieces.
I get it, but you're going to have to fill that team out.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm not saying they're generational pieces coming off the bench,
Right.
but yeah, you need to get some shooters on this team. I think you need to get a few shooters on this team pretty quick. I do think, and then again, I'm working off the information I've seen from multiple sources, that Norman Powell, it just doesn't look like, unless he negotiates some kind of a deal that he's content with, he's going to have to take less money to stay. And I think there's probably going to be too many other offers on the table for him. So it comes down to the question of, are you going to try and maybe take a more friendly deal in Miami to stay and play with Giannis, or are you going to capitalize on what you can capitalize on while you have it, which, I mean, the general rule of thumb is, right, Rob, you don't snub your nose at the bag if it's out there. You know what I mean? If somebody offers it to you, you jump on it.
I think if I'm Norman Powell, he should have been a 2-time All-Star. He should have been All-Star. He was in the Clippers.
100%.
You go out and you say, you test the market, and you come back and say, hey, I'm just throwing this number. I don't know how much you're going to make. Let's say, this team offered me 200.
Yeah.
Can you come close to that? Like, can you give me 195?
All I see is the J. Jonas Jameson meme of him laughing hysterically in the office. There's Pat Riley at his desk.
Because here's the thing: the 195 is actually more than 200 wherever he goes, unless he goes somewhere in Texas, because there's no state tax in Florida. And so that's what you have to look at as a player. I at the end of the day, am I going to bank X amount of dollars? And if I'm Norman Powell, what's more important, making an extra $2 to $10 million, or having a chance to win a championship, which is going to open up a lot more opportunities for you, So
let me ask you that. Do you guys believe legitimately that Miami's a championship contender by just adding Giannis and Portis to the mix?
No. Now,
okay,
they're a team that is relevant and to be talked about. You're going to be relevant and you're going to be talked about when you get a piece like Giannis. And you just never know how things will shape out in the East. But right now, because I think the bettors and the odds makers have them as like the third favorite to come out of the East, and I don't know
Knicks and
about that.
Celtics, and I think Miami's.
I don't think.
I think when you have Giannis and Bam, and if you have Norman Powell, that's a big three, and you can do a lot with that. You can throw some boo-boo with them, and they still gonna make something good out of it. So I know none of us sat here and said the Knicks would be champions right now at the beginning of the season. So anything is possible. And I think with, if Giannis is a big if, because he's getting into that AD and Paul George area where he's always hurt now. So if he can stay healthy and stay on the court, he can erase a lot of problems. He can cause a lot of problems. So, because think about it. If you look at this team that won the championship, it's pretty much this team in Miami, but better than me, because, the bigs are bigger. Norman Powell's a little better than, the guys that he had. So you got to get some pieces, though. You got to get some pieces.
You do. You got work to do. He's eligible, by the way, as of October 1st for his extension. It says it's probably going to wait until January 6th for the trade, after the trade's done, because by waiting, he becomes eligible for a 4-year, $275 million max extension. By waiting. So then the question becomes, Miami, I think they're in this for the haul with him. I would imagine. You don't make this move and then just snub your nose at the big extension in, 6 months, you know?
They're going to pay him.
Did we lose you, Rob? Oh, there's a water leak at Rob's house, so the internet's out. Sorry, go ahead. You're back.
I said the done is actually not done yet. So there's gonna be some other teams that get involved, some other things that happen.
There will.
This is just preliminary.
Yeah. There's more layers to this for sure. Do you want to talk about the Celtics of it all? Because I imagine you probably have a very unhappy Jaylen Brown right now. Who all the speculation was if the Celtics were going to make this move to get Giannis, JB was a big part of it.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think that there's necessarily any surprise or shock there. I mean, we've heard a lot of the rumblings coming out of Boston that he wasn't necessarily thrilled with the situation and he wanted to be more of a featured piece, and he had a lot to say on Twitch, you know what I mean, off-season stuff. So maybe there's some unhappiness, amongst him and Brad Stevens and whoever else is running that show up there in Boston. But they end up coming up short, and basically now you have to go, well, what do you do? This is
the second time he's been involved in some.
Yeah, I know. And now it's like, do you try and repair this relationship, or do you go, okay, well, we're just gonna find a better spot for him?
Well, I think when you're making that much money, you're one of the highest paid players in the NBA. You got to have thick skin. You got to think about it. You're going to be in trade talks because, number one, they're going to try to unload that contract because you didn't win a championship. But you also got to realize that, if you really think about it, he is the best player on that team. I know everybody said, what, JT? No, let's be honest. Brown is the best player on that team. JT coming off the Achilles injury is not equivalent to Brown. And for me, I think he needs to just say, you know what? I'm just going to play. Because if I go anywhere else, I got to move my family. I got to uproot this system. And I might go to a team that's fucking losing. And let me just say something. When you go to a team that's losing, I don't give a shit how much money you make. You're going to be fucking miserable. And so you can be a featured. Think about it. You still can be featured. Why can't you be double featured? Who doesn't love a double feature, right?
Yeah. Look,
I don't know.
It's not that he has to like it. It is the nature of the business because he's eligible for a 2-year, like $140 million extension on top of the 3 years he has left for like $175 million. So, and I think he's eligible for that at the end of July. So whether or not the Celtics determine whether or not we want to add 2 more years to this and commit to him, or if Jaylen says, you know what, I'm already under contract for 3 years. I for damn sure don't want to commit to y'all for another 2 years. Let's see what I want to be traded. I want to see what my trade value is like for some other teams. I don't think this can be repaired. Now, Boston don't have to trade him because they got him under contract for 3 years.
Yeah.
But
you got to deal with him though.
Who knows? Look, Jaylen Brown is now a streamer, and he ain't been shy. He's never been shy about letting his feelings known about any and everything. He's never been that guy. He's certainly not that guy now being a streamer. So, I mean, we should be hearing more from him soon at some point in time on his own platform, under his own terms, with his own thoughts. So we'll see. I do think there's some damage there that I don't know if it can be repaired, but we've seen players demand trades before, and teams are like, well, we don't have to do it.
Yeah.
We just finished talking about a guy.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's 100% right. So, I mean, look, I think the reports were that Milwaukee just wanted too much. Boston was unwilling to give all the players and the picks and everything that was required to make this happen on top of JB. And ultimately, it's, you're right, Harp. They got him under contract. The question is, what do you have with him now? And I would hope that you have enough infrastructure and trust built amongst both management and coaching staff that you can make this amicable and go, look, let's go win a title. If you want to maximize your value here and you want to get out of Boston, let's run it back. Let's go win a freaking title again.
And the crazy part about it, who knows? It might be something in the works tonight. The draft is coming up.
And that's just it. So that's why I said by the chance that where this show's going to drop in an hour or two, and people are going to be like, "What the hell are they talking about?" They already moved his ass. So yeah, Harp, do me a favor and stay on Twitter if you don't mind during the course.
I'm
of the
on
show.
it right now.
Yeah, just because I know stuff's going to jump probably while we're recording. So my hope is that not too much happens, at least by the time the show goes. But it was just I don't know. I didn't anticipate the Giannis thing coming down as quick as it did. And obviously it wrapped up. Now there's another aspect to this. Let's talk about the Minnesota of it all. That's the other side
weird.
of this. That was a whole other side of this. So the Minnesota, right before the Giannis move happens, Timberwolves moved Julius Randle. This was, what did they move him for? We got Timberwolves agreed to move Randle and the number 28 pick in the 2026 draft to the Nets as a part of a 3-team deal that put Nick Claxton to the Bulls. As part of the deal, the Timberwolves received the number 33rd pick. That would be the third pick in the second round from the Nets. So, and the rumor, the one that stands out to me, this is according to multiple sources, is that Giannis told the Bucks he'd be willing to sign long-term in Minnesota if he could be paired with Anthony Edwards. And obviously Minnesota didn't even entertain this conversation.
Bullshit.
Which, right. No, it's not that they didn't entertain it. I just think the asking price was probably way too steep, which we saw from Boston. But I don't know. The idea of Giannis and Ant-Man playing together is... Like, I don't know if you're Minnesota, I almost feel like, well, shit. We're rebuilding anyway. We're moving pieces anyway. We got to make cap space anyway. Why don't we get in the mix for this thing? And I don't know. Apparently, they really were never in it.
Yeah, that's really, because think about it, you give it with Julius Randle and Gobert and bring in Giannis.
Ooh.
You
Play with Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Get a little fire under him again.
Yeah, put a little Nas Reed and the shit talking that team would do.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey man, the only thing this really sums up is that hourglass of sand is moving fast before Ant-Man comes home to Atlanta.
Oh God.
Really?
Go with that
That's
shit,
all
man.
it is.
Go with that shit.
That's all it is.
Talking about
That
dog.
man,
Like, what are
that
you
man
doing?
is about ready to get up out that cold of Minnesota and might well come on back home to the city. You might as well, brother. Why not? If you're gonna be frustrated, at least be frustrated at home. Not saying that he'd be frustrated being here, but if you ever have moments of frustration, at least you can go down the street and go home and see your folks.
Hey, he got enough money. He can put him on a PJ and come see him.
No. It's a lot cheaper when you play here already, and they already
Yeah,
here.
well, yeah.
But let me ask you this, Rob. So there was I don't know if you saw it. There was a clip of Jay McDaniels on vacation, and I guess some obviously pass by people and they recognize you, and he had the guy had revealed to Jaden that Julius had been traded. Like while he's out on vacation, he's like, "Oh, have you heard?" He was like, "Nah." So Julius got traded to Brooklyn. And you see Jaden's face kind of go blank. He's like, "Oh, dang!" And just picked up his phone. How do you? And we've had instances like that kind of before, in a sense. KD had kind of got revealed he had been traded to the Rockets while he was on stage with Taylor Rooks.
Oh, that's right.
And by people in the crowd. Would you ever feel a way if you're like on vacation and you found out from a regular fan or person that a teammate of yours had been traded or somebody like that before you ever knew, and that's the way you found out? Would you feel a way?
You feel like, a little. You feel it's a weird. Otis Thorpe and I were really good friends. Okay. And this is before cell phones. So Otis was lit. I pulled in right before Otis, and so when I got out of the car, I was waiting for him, and then he pulled in. And the guard said something, he pulled out and left. I'm like, what the fuck going on? Did something happen? He said, oh, we just traded Otis for Clyde. I'm like, why the fuck we trade? I'm like mad and shit, right? And so especially because those relationships you form with certain people and all of a sudden they're gone. You never know. And like for me, when I found out I got traded to Phoenix, I was on my way to a Miami Dolphin game. I was down in Miami and Sam called me like, Herro, these mofos, they fucking trade me. I'm like, what? They just traded me, man. I said, who all in the trade? I don't fucking know. I'm like, am I with you? And then I had to call my agent. He says, yeah, you've been traded to. And it's weird because every time I find out something, it's always like secondhand.
Yeah,
and
that's so weird. Why wouldn't they call you immediately?
Yeah, but it's just how it works sometimes, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes they have a number on you. They call that number first, and by the time they get to the second number, they a little late.
Yeah, a little bit. So, and I don't know if there's truth to this. Shaq told us that he found out he got traded from the Heat to the Suns when he was getting a sandwich somewhere. Like he was at a sandwich shop, and
Probably.
dude behind the counter was like, "Man, good luck in Phoenix, man. We're gonna miss you." And he was like, "I'm sorry." And he's like, "Good luck, dude. We're gonna miss you." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And dude in the sandwich shop's like, "They traded you to the Suns." Fuck, they did. And then he got on the phone, and sure enough, he'd been traded to Phoenix. So I don't know how much truth there is to that. He told that story years ago on the show.
It happens, man.
I mean, it seems like it's commonplace, which is so weird.
Yeah.
Especially in the land of social media now, because you'll find a lot of players
Social
will find
media,
out on
that.
social.
Yeah.
And if they're not on social, fans see it all the time. So imagine, like you said, you running into one of the guys, and you reckon, everybody want to break news nowadays.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, and go viral.
Well, there's video out there of Jaime Jaquez Jr. finding out he got traded at like a rec league game or something.
Yeah.
He's playing basketball with a bunch of dudes, and the guy's holding his phone up, and you just see him throw his hands up and like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like when you're moving from Miami to Minnesota to Milwaukee there, Bubba. And he just threw his hands up and was like, all right, so it's out there. But yeah, I don't know. Like for me, though, when I looked at the Randle trade, and I kind of looked at the way this all shook out for Minnesota, where does this leave the Timberwolves? Like
That's what I wanted to say.
That's what I don't get, because weren't you knocking on the door just like 2 seasons ago? Weren't you like on the cusp of getting this thing done? And now, where are you? I mean, you have Ant-Man, and you have Naz Reid still there, right? So,
Yes.
Okay, so we still have Naz Reid, we still have Ant-Man. We've got couple of good pieces, but you're nothing like the team that was practically on the doorstep maybe, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah. But here's the thing. You think because of his poor performance in the playoffs this past postseason is the reason they got rid of him? Because now you think about this. You got rid of Cat, who was extremely good for your team.
Yes.
Now, what do you have to show for that trade? After getting rid of Cat, now you got rid of Julius 2 years later.
Yeah.
Like
you're left empty-handed.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, what are you doing there? And I think, and you look at it, when you traded Cat, you could have got way more for Cat than you did. You got Julius Randle. And I don't know. I don't know if they got picks or not, because I don't recall the trade. But
I don't. They may have, but
I just think that now Minnesota is like, you just lost your second leading scorer. You didn't really replace him.
no.
It's like, what are you doing?
I have no idea.
I guess they depend on the draft and more picks to come or more players to come in. Who knows?
It's a weird place to be left in if you're Minnesota, because I feel like you, instead of capitalizing on the momentum you had, you just kind of like moved a piece, and then you're like, okay, we're under the cap. Like, okay, and what? And you're going to be like in a play-in position at best?
But you think about
where's it leave you?
A lot of these owners now, they not trying to win championships. They're trying to just make money off their team. So they're trying to spend as small amount as possible.
Ugh.
You think about, look at what's going on with Portland. Firing everybody.
Yeah.
Hadn't hired a coach yet.
Coming off a year where you made noise.
Yeah.
Where you were good.
It's just weird. It's like they're in it to not win chips. They're in it for, hey, look, I want an NBA team. Look at this. I got an NBA team. So they're not trying to, make the franchise and do really good by the fans. So it's just weird.
I will say this about Minnesota. So a couple of things that took place with them trading Julius. They got a $33 million trade exception that they could use. And I think they're about $50 million or so underneath the first apron.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they got some room. Obviously there's something else in the works that's going to take place.
There must be, but you've got to do something with that.
You got to do something. Now they did re-sign what's my boy's name? Ayo Dosunmu, who they got from the Bulls last.
Yeah.
I think he's a 4-year or 5-year, 112. So that money that they used for Julius, they just turned around and gave it to Dosunmu, which in a sense he's deserving. He's a pretty good player.
No,
he showed his ass off. Yeah, he played really well.
Yeah. So I don't know how long still. I don't know how long this sits well with Ant-Man, because we've heard about this before, the reports of how he has not been truly happy over the last few seasons or so about the direction in which the Timberwolves are going.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long this lasts, but I don't know.
It's a bad trajectory for Minnesota. That's the thing. You don't. I mean, like if your marquee piece is that, outspokenly miserable to be there. Oh God, dude, what do you do? Like Cat, I think it was since the Cat move. Really, it's really because I know him and Cat are really close, and it was like, damn, they were right there. And then he's like, "Why are you getting rid of my boy?" And then everything's just been downhill since then.
He's next.
He might be.
They gonna swap him and Jaylen Brown.
Oh, damn. Well, Cat in Boston, or I'm sorry, not Cat, Ant-Man in Boston. That would be intriguing, but I don't know if that's a straight swap, but damn. All right, I have a question from Timothy. Now, normally we save these for the shoot-around on Fridays. He goes, I know it's Tuesday, but I have to ask. With the Giannis trade, what's y'all's thoughts on Miami giving Chris Paul a call on vet minimum? They need a point guard with experience. He doesn't need to score, just facilitate. Isn't Chris done?
Yeah, it depends on if Chris wanted. I don't know if Chris even want to come back.
I think Chris said he was done.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has any desire to keep doing this.
But who knows? It might be like your boy over here with the Rams. It might be intriguing.
It might be. It could be. But it's a little different. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. Okay. I get where you're coming from. I just don't know if. I don't know how much of a desire CP3 has to continue to play ball. I think between his injury history and the fact that he's getting old or gotten older and just realizing that, look, man, I had a Hall of Fame career. I never won a title, but I had a hell of a career.
Again, to Timothy's point, though. He is. But again, to Timothy's point, you don't need to score. You just need to facilitate the offense.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
It reminds me of Steve Nash's situation with the Lakers.
That's what you were going to say. I knew it.
But and Chris Paul is older. I think also with Chris Paul, we forget that as a player, okay, you're 41, you just took a whole season off. Mm-hmm. And when you that old, that father time jump on you like a gorilla, a 2-ton gorilla on your back. And it's hard to be like, okay. Because you think about it, even if he start preparing for it, he probably won't be ready until like January.
It takes that long to ramp up. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Who knows? He might be in the lab every day playing, but because you got his son going over to Campbell Hall, he might be with his son in the gym playing every day. So who knows?
That's fair. But again, it's a good question for Timothy because it's not. I don't think a ton would be required of him to do it, but I don't necessarily see him doing it.
Hey, how about sending John Morant down there?
John Morant. Look, they're just trying to find. We're going to talk about that in the shoot around on Friday because I've had so many people send in, what's Rob's thoughts on this? What's Rob's thoughts on this? And it's all rumors. So we're going to do a little rumor mill roundup in the Friday shoot around for the NBA, and we'll see if any of this stuff holds up. Well, we do have the draft tonight. It does start tonight. We've got a weird little back and forth between Peterson and Dibanasta between who's going to go first and who thinks they deserve it. AJ says he doesn't really work out for anybody. He just visits cities. They know what I can do. Peterson said he's only going to work out. He hasn't worked out for anybody outside of Washington. So he thinks he's going first. It seems that the consensus is AJ's going first to the Wizards. And then Utah takes Peterson. Memphis will take Cameron Boozer. And then the Bulls get Caleb Wilson. That's your consensus top 4. But rounding out the top of the draft, you've got the Clippers at 5, the Nets at 6, the Kings at 7, the Hawks at 8, the Mavericks at 9, and the Bucks at 10.
Man, I'm really intrigued by what the Clippers are going to do. Everybody else I don't really give a shit about, because think about how good the Clippers were Kawhi being healthy. Now you add a young piece to that. That's what do you want? Do you bring in you need a guard, you need a point guard, but who do you bring in that that's going to really be like, look at Kawhi like, okay, you're the elder statesman. Do I defer, or that's you get in line, old man? Because these little young Thundercats coming out now, these guards, they ain't trying to defer to nobody. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that pick for the Clippers.
Yeah, very. We do have some aftermath from the Knicks parade.
Man.
1 million people flooded the Canyon of Heroes in Lower Manhattan. We had Clyde Frazier leading the parade, which was cool. We had Alicia Keys closed it out with Empire State of Mind, which was cool. Timothy Chalamet was there, of course he was. Carmelo Anthony was there, which was cool. Patrick Ewing. Like, they rolled out all the nostalgia for the Knicks parade. It was the NBA Finals averaged 20.6 million viewers per game, the most watched since 1998. Game 5 peaked at 33 million. That's all New York, man. That is New York getting ready to celebrate a championship. Rob, you've been to a lot of parades, 7 to be precise. What was the craziest crowd?
LA by far.
Really? It was always LA, huh?
Yeah, always LA, because when we were in, because Houston, we ended up at the Astrodome, and we had a lot of people in the Astrodome, and we were on stage. Mattress Mac, they did it right there, and it was packed. But you really couldn't see because it's so dark, and you really couldn't see the crowd. Like when we got on stage in LA, it was just bananas, and Shaq, Can You Dig It, Mark Manson dancing, all the crazy shit and shenanigans. That was fun. And then in San Antonio, we was on the Riverwalk. We took boats down the Riverwalk. So that was kind of like, you couldn't pack as many people like you could in the parade, like going through the city. So LA by far was the craziest. It was just so much fun. Yeah, Houston was fun too, because you think about it, we were the first team to ever win a championship for that city, a great city like Houston. They were everywhere hanging out. I got into some pictures somewhere where they hanging out off, the parking alleys and everything, throwing tissue, and it was bananas. But it was just something about the party that the fans did in LA. And it was no crime like it was in New York. It wasn't nobody getting beat up. It was no twerking on a light pole. It wasn't none of that stuff, so it was fun.
You missed out on the light pole twerking. What a shame. What a shame. Missed opportunity.
Look, man, they've been talking about, and far be it from me, I'm not from New York, so I don't understand the routes and the streets and everything, but you hear a lot of people complaining about how they don't think that the parade path should be going down the financial district, and how it should lead back to Madison Square Garden, because if you put this in Midtown, it could hold more people and blah, blah, blah. Look, far be it from me to sit up here and discuss good problems a team has when they're talking about a championship parade, especially in a major city like New York. I don't want to hear about your good problems. Oh my God, we can't fit all these people down here doing a championship parade. I don't want to hear all that. Atlanta, we'll put this thing down in the street. The fact that we have a parade would be a good thing. So
we had one was pretty crazy. The one we had was pretty crazy for the Braves. I will admit the Braves parade was this city was pretty on fire for the Braves parade.
Yeah.
Because it had been so long.
Yeah. Now let the Falcons win one. It'd be a whole nother level.
Oh, God, please. We were there. We had it won. It was won.
Don't bring up old shit, because you can make Rob Jennings blow a gasket.
No, I'm not going to blow a gasket. I'm over it. It's long gone and far away for me. I haven't held a Falcons flag since that day, and I'm not going.
Oh man!
All right, let's talk about Trae Young. Speaking of Atlanta, Trae Young signed a 4-year deal with the Washington Wizards, $212 million to stay in Washington. He's got a player option for year 4. He declined a $49 million player option to set up a long-term commitment there. And they land on a deal that was less than the maximum for him, but equal to about what he would have signed anywhere else. So thoughts on Trae doing the deal in Washington? I didn't think it was. When he declined the option, everybody's like, is he want out? I thought he was committed. I'm like, no, I think he's just setting up a long-term deal, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Get your money, bro.
hey, he was being smart. I'm like, shit, I might be obsolete in 2 years because of the injuries I've been getting. Let me make sure I get some financial stability right here. So yeah, smart thing. Nobody wants to do the Isaiah Thomas thing again, where you bank on yourself and then get hurt and then you can't cash in.
So let me ask you guys both a question with the two biggest capital letters you can possibly imagine. IF. If Trae Young remains healthy this season, if Anthony Davis remains healthy this season, and you have two of them on the floor, sake of argument, 60 games. What's the upside for Washington here?
It's high. I think it's extremely high. If
Again, capital I, capital F, 3 stories tall.
But when you think about it, they got a good little nucleus up there. Now you got 2 vets to come in, Trae, AD, and so think about it. But I think the biggest key is Trae has never played with someone as dynamic as AD. Will he be able to defer? Will he understand how to play with him? And that's the biggest key because AD's played with LeBron. He's played, with some great players, so he knows how to, defer. That's the biggest question. But I think they could do some damage. I got them, top 4 if they stay healthy.
You got them top 4 if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So the upside is the playoffs.
Yeah.
Harper?
I think they could. I think, like you said, if they can stay healthy, which for AD is a big if every single season.
Humongous.
They could vie for a playoff spot in the East. Okay. They could be a bottom half playoff team in the East. The continuity and
who's
the
the coach over there?
Good question.
What's
Don't
his
know.
name?
Don't know offhand. Let's find out.
I forget his name. But to see how these guys mesh together and play well, and to see who they take at number 1, whether it's AJ DeBanza or I think that's the consensus number 1 for most people is AJ. So, we'll see tonight.
Brian Keefe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They could possibly be a playoff team if all things work out and people stay healthy. Health is the thing, especially for AD. And my thing is, does AD even want to be there?
You're going back to the Lakers, man.
Stop.
That's the thing. Does AD even want to be there?
Why would he not want to be there? It looks like they're trying to put stuff around him to make it work.
I get it.
Right?
But I don't know how AD, what his thoughts are, whether Washington is a place that he ever really wanted to be. And, who knows?
But if Washington, again, we're capital ifs, capital I, capital F. They're healthy, and him and Trae figure out a way, to Rob's point, to play off each other and make that offense work. And all of a sudden they're winning games and they're getting a little bit of traction in the East. Wouldn't you rather be on a team with upside in the East than on a team with maybe potential in the West?
You got to ask yourself, and Rob, I don't know if you agree. If you're AD, you're asking yourself, would I rather play with Trae Young or would I rather play with Luka and possibly LeBron again?
But hold on, wait a minute. What's the road back to LA for him though? I've seen this online because I've seen other people go, "Oh, he could come back to LA." What is that road back? How do you make that? I don't even know if that's functionally possible. Yeah.
AR and a pick.
Is that all it would take?
AR, a pick, Vando, and something else. Rui. So if it happens, it's going to have to be AR and Rui. And Rui has to go back to Washington. AD has to go back to LA because that's the only 2 viable pieces that you have over there.
If you're the Lakers, though, there's a million questions because it's like, do you try to re-sign AR or let him move on? Do you do a sign and trade type of a thing?
I keep saying it's sign and trade, and it all depends on how much AR wants. How much you want to be willing to give. Well,
he's going to get as much as he can. Whatever the max he's eligible for is what he's going to get.
Yeah, he's going to get it. He demands it, but at the end of the day, if you want to be realistic with this thing, it's going to be hard to have him and Luka on the floor at the same time because of the liability defense. Unless you got an eraser behind you, it's gonna be hard.
And I think too, with the capital if on Anthony Davis's health is going to be a big detraction from him possibly going back to the Lakers.
So
because if you're counting on him to be healthy, to be your defensive piece, what happens when he only plays 35 games?
Back to LA. What's the LA chances?
If AD gets back to LA,
what are the Lakers' chances if AD went back to LA? No, but here's the you got to say no. Let's just say no AR and no Rui.
Sheesh.
No AR, no Rui.
Does that mean you have LeBron back?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, you're just making shit up. And Magic Johnson's coming off the bench. What are you talking about?
No, LeBron's coming back. LeBron's coming back.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it would really depend on how they fill out the rest of that team. It's hard to say with just those three because then you still got to worry about AD's injuries and things. And LeBron is getting up to that age, but how do you fill out the rest of that team? And what does the rest of that team look like? That would give me a better idea of where they would possibly land in the West, because the West ain't getting no easier.
No.
Yeah.
It ain't getting no. You got a lot of pissed off teams in the West.
You do.
you got a lot of pissed off teams in the West.
Yeah, you got some pissed off Serbians out in Denver. You got things are not easy. Although Minnesota took a step back for sure.
Yeah.
But OKC's going to be back with a vengeance, I think. And I don't think that they're going away. I know San Antonio sure as hell ain't going away.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. I just don't know. It depends on how you fill out the rest of that squad, and then based off that, and I could probably give you some thoughts, but I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so by the way, speaking of teams that may be trying to find a way in the West, Dusty Mays, now the new head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, finalizing a deal to leave Michigan after winning the national title in 2026. Obviously, his previous job at my alma mater, Florida Atlantic, took them to back-to-back tournaments, including the 2023 Final Four. The last coach to go from a national championship team to the NBA was Billy Donovan in 2015.
Florida. Let me see how that worked out for Billy Donovan.
It didn't really pan out. But
now, how old is May? May is young.
He's 49.
Okay, he's not as young as I thought.
No, but still, I mean, he's still young. 50.
Yeah,
that's pretty young for an NBA head coach. I'm not gonna lie.
Got a young team.
Because some of these,
over there
if you got anybody younger than that, we've seen guys run into problems with young coaches.
Yeah,
they haven't been around, don't respect. I mean, but he just won a national title at Michigan. He probably could have hung out at Michigan on a fat contract for the next 10 to 15 years and lived the life. And you want to go to Dallas and coach the Mavs?
I would want to. I know he's probably like, well, I'm gonna get a young Dallas team is like coaching a college team.
It's so different.
Where's he from? Is he from Texas?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, maybe he's just a guy. Maybe he's just a guy that had always had aspirations of getting one of those NBA head coaching jobs.
Maybe, but like,
what I'm saying?
I don't know.
But you think about this though. Once you get in the NBA, you can bounce around to 4 different teams before you're done with your career, and you can make a shit ton more money than you go out on to college. Maybe.
Dusty May's alma mater, Indiana.
Oh. It's close.
No, it isn't. To Dallas?
I'm kidding. I'm saying
what the hell are you talking about? And then he coached at Eastern Michigan, Murray State, UAB, Louisiana Tech. He was an assistant at Florida before FAU, 6 years at FAU. And then he's going to do 2 years at Michigan off a national title to go try and put the Mavericks back together, who, again, you got talent. You got talent on that squad, but
I think that Michigan team, they lose 4 of they
do.
Top players.
They do.
You're like, oh, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to spend some NIL, but you're coming off a national title. Even if you suck for the next 5 years, Michigan will bring you back because you got them to the promised land for the first time since what the damn 90s.
Lynn Rice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't get the move on his part. I don't get the move. Mavericks, okay. I mean, good luck. I don't wish him well. I like the guy a lot, but I don't get it. Like, I would just camp out at Michigan as long as they would keep paying me, because they're going to keep paying him a lot of money to just be the man there for a while. So we'll see how that shakes out. And then before we get to Big Shot of the Week and this week's game, Harp threw out the Hawks earlier, so I felt like we got to put it on the show sheet. We've had a few Hawks-related moves in the last week leading up to the draft. Aaron Wiggins from the Thunder goes to the Hawks for two second round picks. Obviously, OKC is trying to make some room underneath that apron. They had a projected tax penalty of $213 million going into the season, so they needed to get that number down quick. That's one way that they do it. And then they re-signed C.J. McCollum to a 1-year, $21 million extension. For what it's worth, the Hawks went 19-4 with McCollum as a starter from February 22nd through the end of the regular season.
Yeah. Getting McCollum extended was a no-brainer. I thought they would have gone maybe 2 years, but the 1 year is fine. Maybe McCollum after the 1 year may say, hey, I might hang him up.
Yeah.
But no problem with the years, definitely no problem with the money. He's earned it. He deserves it for what he's not only meant to this team on the floor, but what he's meant to the development of some of these young guys. So I have no issue with that. And the Aaron Wiggins trade, look, you get another piece to add to your bench. He's a good player who may just need some more opportunity, which he'll get here. He's 27 years old, and I think he's on I think he's like 26, 27.
Well, look.
Damn.
Last time I checked. And I think he's on a 3 or 4 year, $45 million deal.
Something like that, yeah.
So I think
27.
he would become an unrestricted free agent, I think, after the 28th season.
That might
right
be
before
right.
the 28th season.
I'm looking it up as we speak.
If I looked at it correctly the last time. So you would have him for a couple of seasons to see what he could bring to this bench. He's a good piece.
So here's my thing. I'm like, damn, are the Hawks content on just having a bunch of 6'8", 6'7" guys on their team? Like, what the hell, man?
Hey, man. A bunch of – well, I'll put it to you like this. I don't know what falls to them tonight at number 8. I don't even know if I don't know if something comes to them that's so good for them, to pass up on to where they may end up trading the number 8 pick. I don't know. Talking to Ansi the other day.
They're going to get a point guard.
You said what?
They're going to get a point guard.
I put it to you like this. What's my guy's name in Arkansas? Arkansas's point guard. He led the SEC in scoring and assists. Acuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say he's another version of Trae Young. I don't know about that. I understand that he's undersized, but I like the way that he can control an offense. And he's a pit bull. Like the difference between him and Trae's a little smaller, just in size. Acuff, I don't like calling men thick, but pause. He's a little thicker here. He got a little bit more size to him.
Sure.
If somehow, some way he falls to Atlanta 8, which I don't think he will.
He ain't gonna drop that far.
I think he's projected to go like 6.
He go no further than 5th or 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'd run up there and give you that card in a minute. But we'll see tonight if the Hawks. I'm leaning towards the Hawks not only drafting at 8, but also drafting at 23 and keeping both of those picks.
Could get some nice pieces in this one. There's a lot of guys out there. To your note about Wiggins' contract, he is locked up through 27-28. He has a club option, 28-29, for $7.9 million, and then he's an unrestricted free agent.
Y'all probably what's the guard out of Houston, Kingston?
Yeah,
that's probably who y'all gonna probably
That's been projected. He's been the projection for a while.
But I'm like, when I watch him play, it's like he's young. He's really young, but he doesn't play with enough force for me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like some guys, when you have it so easy throughout your career, you can just score. Like now you got to come with a little toughness. Like Acuff has something about we call it playing a little nasty. He's like, but who knows? He might have it in him. But I just think as much as everybody say this draft is loaded, like for me, if I'm Atlanta and I need a point guard, you know who I would get? That's probably they probably not even looking at is the guy from Arizona, Burries, because he's a bigger, tough-nosed guard that to me that I think as a point I would go with if I'm Atlanta, because that kind of fits your mold on who you are. Now you all of a sudden you go down, you shrink in size, and that's not who you are. You know, you switching, you all same athletic. So that's who I would go with if I'm Atlanta. I would go with Burris because he's a top guard. He's big enough, and he's not really a true point guard. He's kind of like Castle in the sense that he can handle point, but he's not a real point guard. He's more of a scoring guard. So if I'm Atlanta, that's who I will be looking at, because I look at this draft and everybody says as deep as it is. To me, it's not a lot of physicality in this draft outside of Boozer.
Okay, it's fair. All right, we're going to play shot clock here in a second. We haven't played that game in a long time, so I'll refresh you on what it takes to play shot clock. But I'm going to give out the big shot of the week to a young woman named Simone Kelly. I know you both know who this woman is. She's a South Orange member of the South Orange Rescue Squad. She was off duty enjoying the Knicks parade when that dude OD'd on top of the World Trade Center subway elevator. And she got up there, and he was pinpoint pupils, and he was drifting off. She somehow somebody threw up some Narcan to her. She Narcaned him. She got him back. And dude tried to kiss her like 3 times.
Kiss her, yep.
Woke up so delusional. He was like, clearly this woman is here to make out and not save my life, but she needs a kiss. So God bless her, because she held him off at bay. And then I think the third time he went up, she was like, stop, we're done. But saved the man's life, and he was okay. So, look, big shot to Simone, because that was a super viral moment for the Knicks parade. And
it was cool
because, man.
And the fact that she had to jump up there and get up there along with 3 other, I gotta go save him. Like, big ups to her, man.
Yeah, she jumped right into it, man. So good for her. All right, I don't know. I'm trying to find my buzzer here because I don't think I had it set up for today. And I got to get, oh, yeah, there it is right there. So I don't know if you guys remember how to play shot clock.
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember how to play shot clock?
I think you give us a category and we have to name however many in 10 seconds.
Yes, absolutely right. So I'm going to give you a topic. We'll start with Rob. You just tell me how many you think you can pull in 10 seconds time. And then Harp, you can either offer one better or you can challenge Rob. And then we go back and forth until one of you has to do it. All right, so number 1, Giannis got traded to the Miami Heat. We talked about it extensively on this show. The question is, how many cities in Florida can you name in 10 seconds? Robert Horry, how many cities in Florida can you pull in 10 seconds time?
5.
All right, Harp, can you do 6?
Yeah, I can do 6.
Rob, can you do 7?
I can do 7.
Rob can do 7. Harp, can you do 8?
I can do 8.
Rob,
do
can
8,
you do 9?
Because I don't think you get 8 words on 10 seconds.
Here we go. 10 seconds, Harp, go. 8 cities.
Miami, Orlando, Tampa, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Destin, Fort Lauderdale, Sarasota, Pensacola, Naples, Gainesville.
Oh, nice job. You got 10. That's good. You got 10. That's pretty strong. Nice job.
So if I said Pensacola, would that count?
Is it a city in Florida?
Pensacola. They call it Pensacola.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Did I not say the whole word, though?
Yes, you sure did.
No, I was just asking.
Yes,
I was
sure.
Just asking
I would have given it to you
city.
posthumously. Yeah, I probably would have ruled against you initially and then give it to you. Yeah.
Ocala, Destin, Miami, Orlando,
there you go.
Pensacola,
No, what's the dude?
St. Pete,
what's
Tampa.
the dude with the fishing pole in the commercial? Got to be quicker than that.
Very good. All right, point to Harp. We go to question number 2. This is Brandon Harper will get the opening bid here. The Knicks just won their first title in 53 years. So the question is, how many New York Knicks can you name in 10 seconds? Any generation. How many New York Knicks can you name in 10 seconds?
Whole name? First name?
I'll give you shortcuts.
Okay. How many you say?
8.
All right, Harp thinks he can do 8. Rob, can you do 9?
Go ahead.
All right, 8
Go
Knicks
ahead.
in 10 seconds. Go.
Brunson, Anunoby, Hart, Carlton Towns, Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson, Jose Alvarado, Jordan Clarkson, Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, John Starks.
Got 11. That's pretty. You just basically did this year's Knicks roster. And then
Why
threw
not?
it.
Hey, right. Why not?
All right, it's 2-0 Harp. Rob, you're going to have to get in this game, bud.
I know.
All right, Robert Horry, you get the first bid on this one. Milwaukee just lost a generational superstar, but hey, at least they still have beer. In 10 seconds, how many beer brands can you name? 5. Harp, can you do 6?
I think I can do 6.
Rob, can you do 7?
No.
All right, Harp, 6 beers, 10 seconds, go.
Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light, Michelob Ultra, Busch Light, Budweiser, Corona. That's it. That's all I can think of.
7. That's enough to win.
It's easy to do that with beer because at all of our golf tournaments and tailgates, we got beer all the time.
Oh, it's got beer.
Corona, Modelo, Dos Equis.
We do
see,
Corona,
you're throwing out
Modelo,
more.
all
You
that.
should have given this a run. I think you could have pulled this off.
I was like thinking, I'm sitting thinking like, I can't fucking name but 3 beers. Corona,
Rob's not a beer drinker.
Budweiser, Pabst Blue
You're
Ribbon,
not a beer drinker. How about a Yingling or a
Red
Guinness?
Stripe.
I mean,
Red
come on.
Stripe.
Get something.
It's
Red
beer.
Stripe. Yeah, it's Jamaican for beer, I think. Isn't it? Red Stripe is Jamaican for beer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's going to be a win for Harp. If you want, we could do the next 2 just for the shit of it.
What's the next 2?
The next 2 was Harp would have got first bid on this one. San Antonio was just in the finals. They came up a little short. Including states directly above Texas. I'm going to include those. How many states, Texas and West, can you name in 10 seconds? Texas and West. How many states?
States west of Texas.
Western United States is what we're looking at.
3.
Rob says 3. Harp, you can.
I can do 4.
All right, Harp. Rob, can you do 5?
I could do 5.
Harp, can you do 6?
Yeah, I can do 6.
Rob, can you do 7?
I can do 7.
Harp.
Go ahead.
Oh, 7 states west of Texas. Rob, go.
Phoenix, Cali, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota,
Wait a minute, Phoenix.
Arizona. Oh, Arizona. I'm sorry,
yeah.
Arizona.
Wait a minute.
I mean, he's not wrong. Phoenix is west of Texas. He's not wrong. It's just not a state. You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah.
Washington.
All right, I think that's probably a good place for us to pull the plug on this thing.
Hey, Arizona, my bad.
No, hold on. What's the last one?
The last one was going to be the NBA draft is tonight, starts tonight. How many former number 1 picks can you name in 10 seconds?
Shit.
He said,
1, Shaquille.
You gotta be kidding me.
Rob can name the one in his draft, and he's done.
Shaquille,
Yeah.
AD, Bennett, Dream, Patrick Ewing? I don't know.
Patrick Ewing was the number 1 pick.
Oh, Wemby.
Okay.
That's about it for
That's
me.
about all you got. Harp, are there any other ones you could pull there?
Risha Shea,
Well, that's
Ben
good.
Simmons, Paolo Banchero, Kay Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, LeBron, DeAndre Ayton, Markelle Fultz.
Good job.
You know,
You guys both pulled more than I expected you to, honestly. I figured Rob was going to go, let's see, 92 was Shaq. That's probably about it for me. All right, well, there you go.
After that, is it? Who was the number 1 pick before Shaq? Oh, Glenn Robinson.
Robinson, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Glenn Robinson. He wasn't before Shaq, but that's another number 1 pick. I can't. I wonder who. I can't remember. Oh, was Moses Malone number 1 pick?
What? Yeah, I
yes.
don't know. Was he?
Was he?
he was.
Damn, man, I don't know that. Now you got me questioning. All right, hang on. Now I got to look. Now I got to look it up.
Was Ralph Sampson the number 1 pick? He's the number 1 pick of
I
Houston
believe
Rockets,
so,
right?
yes.
Yeah,
I believe
Rob
that
Sampson
number
was,
1
yeah.
pick.
Was Elijah one the number 1 pick?
Yeah, he said that. Harp said that, yeah. Or no, you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Dream. NBA number 1 picks. Okay, by year. Here we go. Shut up, I understand. All right, we missed Cooper Flag last year.
Oh, that's
Damn.
Let's see, Anthony, you got most of these. Zion. You got
about
Ayton,
him.
you got Fultz, you got Simmons, Karl Anthony Towns in 2015. Andrew Wiggins in 2014. Anthony Bennett 2013.
I said Bennett.
AD, Kyrie Irving, John Wall, Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose, Greg Oden, Andrew Bogut, Dwight Howard. You said LeBron, Yao Ming, Kwame Brown, one of our favorites, our all-time favorites, Kwame. Kenyon Martin in 2000, Elton Brand, Tim Duncan.
Oh, damn.
Allen Iverson.
Yep.
David Robinson.
You did say Glenn Robinson. David Robinson was on there.
Magic Johnson.
The year before Shaq, Grandmama. Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson.
Yep. Chris Webber was the year after Shaq in 93. Derek Coleman, 1990. And then you're just going in. Robinson was 87. Patrick Ewing was 85. Dream was 84. Ralph Sampson, 83. Good job, Rob. James Worthy, 1982. He's going to crush your ass for not knowing that he was a number one.
Oh, and the funny part, I was just with James last night, and he was talking about how, he was like so happy that Ralph stayed an extra year so he could be the number one pick.
Well, there you go. See? He owes you one. And no one said Magic Johnson.
He said it. No, Harp said
did
Magic.
You say Magic? Okay, I didn't hear you say Magic. So there you go. All right, well, then we only have to answer to James Worthy. Thank God.